Mike D checking in here on hip hop's birthday, man. Happy 52nd birthday to hip hop. Now, I know that hip hop spans back further than 1973. We can do all the research and all the talk about that, but I will give credit where credit's due. DJ Kool Herc, 52 years ago today, through the first documented hip hop party. We got the flyer as an example and as evidence, rather. He threw a back to school jam and a birthday party for his sister Cindy. Shout out to Cindy and Kool Herc. And it became the birth date of hip hop. 52 years ago today, hip hop was born. A little bit further than that, but you know what I mean. But I thought this would be a great time to talk about how each of us fell in love with hip hop. What was your moment? I want to know in the comment section, like, what was you guys' moment, man? When did you fall in love with hip hop? It's that infamous brown sugar question. When did you fall in love with hip hop? I want to give my story, right? I knew that I wanted to be down with hip hop before I even attempted to put together words and rhyme. And I would have to say that the year for me, the breakthrough year for me, had to be 1995. There was so much going on in 95. My parents had cable. My dad, it was a non-negotiable for him. Cable TV was going to be had in our house. He loved sports. He was going to be watching ESPN, Sports Center, all of that. So we had cable. And radio wasn't really playing hip hop to that magnitude like that in 94, 95. So a lot of the hip hop that I fell in love with was stuff that I saw on television, on BET, on MTV. Now, as much as we talk about BET and many people talk about BET in a negative light, I can never have anything super negative to say about BET because it opened the door for my hip hop experience. And I think 1995 was that year for me when we got Only Built for Cuban Links. I would see, Raekwon's Incarcerated Scarfaces and Ice Cream on Rap City. I would see Jizza with Shadowboxing. I would see How High. Now, I want to say this, man. How High, for me, I remember, and if I had to narrow it down to one moment, because it's a collage of moments, because hip hop was all over the place in the 90s for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Dre and Snoop, they were doing their thing. And, Pac, of course, Biggie on the East Coast, Outkast, Goody Mob, Dungeon Family here. I would say that the Ghetto Boys, Mind Playing Tricks on Me, are my earliest memories, of great hip hop records being played on the radio. Same thing with Slick Rick, right? A Children's Story. Everybody on the school bus knew every single word to that song. But the moment where I said, I love hip hop, I remember we were going to Chattanooga as a kid. We were going to go to the aquarium out there. And when we were packing up and getting ready to leave my house, I remember watching Rap City, or Rap City was on, and I saw Redman and Method Man's video for How High. It was on the show soundtrack. Huge soundtrack, and I was a huge Bone Thugs and Harmony fan. They were on the soundtrack as well. Classic soundtrack in my personal opinion. And I saw that video and the chemistry these guys had and the way that they were rhyming and the way that they were able to put words together, themes together, visuals together, the swag that they had on the mic and on camera and the beat. It was like, no, I got to hear this again. I want to hear this again, over and over again. Like, I made sure I found a way to have that song on my Walkman and listen to it over and over again. That Excuse Me As I Kiss the Sky. Mind you, at the time, Method Man's my favorite rapper. And to see how him and Redman came together and they were in sync, and it was the first song that these niggas did together, and they knocked it out the park. It always amazes me how incredible Method Man and Redman were together and are together, and they didn't even know each other to that degree from what I understand, right? Like, this is their first time really coming together. It's like their rap names were meant for each other, their chemistry was meant for each other, and for me, that was the moment where I said, yo, I love this hip hop thing, man. Like, I want to be down in it in some sort of way. I gotta rhyme, I gotta, be in radio, I gotta do something. But that's my moment where I said that, you know what, I love hip hop. Now, I ain't saying it's the first time I heard hip hop, but that was the moment where liking something went to a whole nother level. And I said, you know, I love hip hop. Now, I want to know you guys' moment. I want to know, when is the moment that you guys fell in love with hip hop? Happy 52nd birthday to hip hop. And again, I know that there was hip hop being done before 1973, but we got to respect the documentation, right? Shout out to the first documented party. Shout out to Cool Herc. Hit like and subscribe, guys. Man, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys and hearing, you know, the moments and the artists that made you fall in love with hip hop. All right, talk to you soon.